Hello and welcome to New Dawn Wellness Free Conversation. Thank you so much for being here today. I am Rob Rice. I'm the host for this amazing event, and we are going to be talking about the healing power of self compassion, personal and relational transformation. We're going to do a lot of different things today, but I want to let you know a little bit of a preview. We're going to have this intro. We're going to do where Oren actually shares his thoughts all about different components of self-compassion, what that means, how that works, and we're going to learn a lot from him. And then we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So as you're going through, you can either type it out into the live chat, or you can save it till the end and I'll prompt you to actually say, okay, go ahead and type it out in the chat when you're ready. And if there's any questions that you want to have Warren answer, then that would be the time. And we'll get to as many of those questions as we can. We're going to try and wrap it up at the hour, but it may go a little over, and you're more than welcome to enjoy the experience. But if you have to go, we understand. No problems. We will be emailing you this presentation, and feel free to be fully present in this conversation, because we're actually going to be putting this up on YouTube as well and sending it over to you to enjoy that way. This will be a recorded session, so we want to share this information with as many people as possible, just so you know. All right? So thank you so much for being here. We are going to get to why we're here, to get to meet Oren. Please join me in welcoming someone whose extraordinary journey spans over 25 years as a trusted therapist to influential actors, top directors, and iconic musicians. Beyond the therapy room, he's raced cars, motorcycles professionally, served in an elite military unit, and studied quantum physics. As an international speaker and founder of New Dawn Wellness, he brings cutting-edge neuroscience research to organizations worldwide. His revolutionary approach transforms leadership, not through fear and control, but through authentic human connection and psychological safety. He believes we're all born to thrive by coming home to what's been true, heart to heart and human to human. Please welcome Oren Raz. Thank you so much, Oren, for being here with us today.
Hello, Rob, and thank you so much. And good morning or good evening to everyone, wherever you are in the world. We have a large topic, even though it sounds like, how to love yourself and giving some tips, but it's a profound topic that we will bring the tip of the iceberg up a little bit today. So I invite you also to know that later on in the year, we will do a much more extensive seminar. And actually, in order to self-love, you have to experience love. So I will give you also some information about what really I mean to self-love, or sometimes we think we self-love, but we actually don't. But I want you to know also, it is, human brain is molding another human brain, and actually it's the heart that we're molding. And self-love comes from if you are actually being loved by somebody else. Now, many times, I know our parents and everyone that you think our friends love you, but how can they love you, or what's the message that you get from them is a different story. They might love you just, they just love you, but at the same time, they might send messages, I don't like about you that, or I like you when you show up this way, or you're smiling, and if you're angry, I don't want you to be angry, and if you're hurt, you have nobody there. That's not the love that you need at that point of time, and that creates emotional injuries underneath. So in order to experience love, we want to first of all find people that you can actually trust. Now, trust is not all or nothing. Sometimes you will feel like I can share this thing because you know the person a little bit better and they're open about that issue or they won't judge you. Share that part with them. If you feel that they are not open to that, protect yourself. Protect yourself. All of these actions are self-love. For example, if you share overly with people that, let's say on the internet, you're kind of throwing things to the whole world and start getting hatred messages, you're exposing yourself for nothing. You are actually in danger. This is not self love. You want to be acknowledged, you want to be seen, you want people to acknowledge you, but you're putting yourself out for people that also will judge you. So in return, you're abandoning yourself. So, what's happening with self love? Why some people feel more like, what is self love even? Like I ask people sometimes, do you love yourself? They say, yeah, I do love myself. But you can see that they're on regular basis abandoning themselves, helping everybody else other than themselves. And that tells me that they don't really value themselves or loving themselves in the way that one should. They might throw themselves under the bus for others, but for themselves, they won't even see that they're doing that. They need to save everybody else. On the other side, you can see people that constantly it's about them. It's the narcissist, which I'll talk in a couple of minutes. Those kind of constantly, of course, you see, it's all about them. They just can talk also always about themselves. They share, they don't even listen to you, or if they pretend to listen, they're not really listening. It's all about them, right? And then they're narcissists. They just really love themselves. The truth is that they don't. It's both sides of the same coin. What we call narcissistic injury in psychology, narcissism, by the way, just to start with, we usually hear that person is a narcissist or narcissism, it's a bad thing, right? Well, no. Narcissism means is that when we are born as children, as infants, we need to be taken care of, we need to be fed, we need to get love, we need to be attended when we're scared. We cannot give at that point of time. We are dependent on our parents or whoever raised us, the environment, to feel safe, to feel loved, to be attendant to wherever we are, what we need at that point of time. For example, if an infant starts kind of listening with their heart, because they only have their heart, they're not developed even to understand anything. But if they get the vibration that mom or dad don't like the fact that you cry when you need something, then they're going to hold it back because the vibration that they get is that I'm bad if I need this or this. Or sometimes, excuse me, getting punished or criticized for their needs. And then it creates a shame and it creates narcissistic injury. What does that mean? It means that when we're young, we need that narcissism. We need to be narcissistic. We're dependent. It's all about us. And if it's not about us and we start taking care of others, even by thoughts, by wishing things, if we feel that our parents are not okay, we will try to save them, even if we can't. We're just little kids. But our mind and heart is just kind of scrambling with helplessness, what to do about that, or how to feel safe. Because if our parents are not sending us the vibration that they're okay, we won't be okay as kids. And then what happens is we are stop being at that point of time. If we get that kind of a thing that we need to be for others from very, very young age, then we don't really know even what we need. We just put ourselves aside. And that creates a hole inside, which we call narcissistic injury, meaning that we didn't get the narcissistic needs that we needed as kids. And now, as adults, we are growing up with a hole inside that we try to fill in all the time. And how we do that, we try to be there for others. We try to constantly make sure that others are okay. We are trying to we completely give up on ourselves and just make sure that other people would love us, because that's maybe how we learned that if we do something for others, if we perform in this way or another, then we are valued. And valued means for me self-love, true self-love. Now, if you're not valued, and I'm not talking about the people that say, of course I value you, I love you, but the messages that you got from them is that you are not receiving what you needed when you needed to be in the picture. You were not being seen for what you needed to be seen. Let's say that somebody is kind of a beautiful girl, and all she gets is only the looks because somebody looks at her because she's beautiful. Now, her own inner world is not matters. Now, she might have learned that if she perform and that everybody looks at her, but everybody actually wants something from her. Yes, she's beautiful outside, but what about her inside? So she, and if that was not attended, not how beautiful she is, or how she's dressed, or what kind of jewelry she's wearing, or what she's doing for others, just because of her, then she's going to do more of those what she learned in the past to be seen. Meaning she will try to dress provocatively. She will try to, constantly being seen, that people will see her, and that's in different externalization methods. You can put different hair colors, you can put jewelries, you can do a lot of things. This is how kids want to show up when they're not being seen. They start acting out. And the more they act out, the parents usually who shame them from the beginning for who they are shutting them down and start seeing them as the problem rather to attend to what they try to say. Hello, I'm here. Kids don't act out just because they're bad. None of us. They act out because they haven't been seen for who they are just because. And they try to say, hello, I'm here. They cannot say that, so they just act on it. Later on in life, when we are having this narcissistic injury, meaning that we never got to be loved for really who we are, not how we look, not how we perform, not for anything, just because we're special to the people that raised us. And they accept us for whoever we want to be, then that injury inside will stay inside unless you treat that later on in life. Now, as much as I right now talk to you about that you understand, and I'll ask you to even love yourself, so many times because it's such an early injury, somebody created that injury. It was a relationship thing. Let's say that you just valued always for what you do for others, then you're going to keep doing that because that's what you learned. You won't trust that you love just because. Why would anybody love me if I don't do things for them? On the other side of it, you can see the people that constantly is just showing how it's about themselves. That's what we call them narcissists. Actually, it's the same narcissistic injury. Those are also being seen just it's about them, and they just try to fill the tank inside for the needs that they never got. But bear in mind, this tank that you try to fill in has a hole. And so that's why it's never enough what you put in, because it's the wrong thing that you need. You just learn that this is how you value, but it's never what you needed. So I have many clients who are extremely rich, for example, and it's never enough for them. They're unhappy the same way. It's like as much as you pour in, that's what goes out, and then you're being left, you as a person, underneath all of it. Take all this money away, all these properties, all these credential, whatever it is, all this beauty. If that didn't that, then what do I have? Who am I? Why should anybody love me? And here's the thing. Nobody should love you. It's not a should thing. It is or it isn't. And if it is, then nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. I want to give you an example of something that came to my mind right now. It happened recently when I was in the Philippines. And I sat down with a good friend. And he's a very, very kind guy. It was actually, we sat in a pastry shop with a coffee, a premium one. We got the coffee, we got the pastry, and we kind of shared a cake. Minding you, this is an extremely capable pastry chef. The cake was hard and old as old can be, and I am not picky about food. And even if I said that, now my friend didn't say at the beginning nothing, he just ate that. And I said to him, is this cake okay? And he said, no, it's old. And I said, well, we should return that, and get something else. He didn't want at the beginning to return that. And he said, it's if we return it back, the guy that actually served us is probably going to hear it from his boss, and his boss going to be angry with him. My friend was actually empathic, came from, came from empathy to knowing what probably the dynamics might be, because he was there before in that kind of incident, and he knew, and he felt for this guy. He knew he was in this situation. And I said, well, but what about us? We paid for the cake. We want to eat a fresh cake, and we get, something that is broken. And he said, now I understand. Yes, I understand, but I don't want this guy to get hammered by his boss, because I guess he's been there and knowing that it kind of felt helpless. And that's how so many kids are getting trapped in that employee kind of position where they're completely helpless. They might need to do something that they're caught in the middle and they have to serve that. It's going to be broken for the guest. And sometimes he's scared of his boss that might hurt him. Now, it's a lose lose for anyone. And then I said to my friend, you know, there is a difference between empathy and loving yourself. And what you're right now doing is loving the other person, or the other person is more important than you. And this might be something that you've been doing for a long time. And this guy is very kind. He will give everything to everyone, oftentimes left without much for himself and working very hard. And I said, how can you abandon yourself? Yes, to help somebody else. That's okay to have empathy, but you're not less important. You paid for that. You worked for that hard to pay for this cake. Why are you less important than him? Here is another twist of that. If we don't say anything to, complain about that, what happens is that those cake will be continue to be sold. Other people who are going to come to the coffee shop are going to have the same experience, so they're abandoned. And we also don't stop the cycle of abuse. So we basically are going to continue kind of keep this guy, the employee, let's say, that has a boss that is not kind. Nothing will ever change. So we actually do a favor by returning the cake and say, this is not good. So even if the guy, let's say the guy that just served it is not responsible for that, getting to hear about that, the boss will start, first of all, changing something that is not right. There is a difference between, then again, empathy to somebody and saving somebody. Many of us are going inwards and outwards to save others, to be there for others, while we don't get enough sleep, we're not getting fed enough, we're not getting properly eating in a time, we're not taking a break, we don't have a relationship with ourselves because we are constantly saving others, thinking we're doing something good for the world. Well, if I had to do that, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now because I'm a therapist. And imagine how much I need to have a space, true space, not talking, enough space in my reservoir to actually be there for others. If I didn't take care of myself and was responsible for everybody's life, I wouldn't sleep at night. If I wouldn't sleep at night and would be able to be there for myself, I'll be anxious, I'll be depressed, I won't survive. How can I be there for others? What is the possibility for me to be there for others if I'm not okay? This is one thing. The other thing is, why are you less important than anybody else? Important, I mean special. Deeply feel that, why would you treat others better than you treat yourself? There's, I think, in the Bible kind of saying like, treat others as you treat yourself. I wish there was another one that says, treat yourself as you treat others. You won't be able to treat others. You cannot save the world. It's not your responsibility. Empathy is one thing, and going to save somebody constantly, to save somebody, is another thing. It's not your responsibility to save everyone. It's a responsibility for be there for yourself as an adult and for your kiddo inside that might have not got what he or she needed at the time, and to be a different parent if that was the case in certain ways, that if you didn't get to have compassion to yourself. So if you externalize yourself for a second, that kid inside, and just see him or her, put them there next to you and see how they are. Ask them and actually listen. Listen and see if you can even listen. Because if you can't listen, that might be that you internalize the parents I couldn't listen to you. Make a note of it. If you're irritated with him or her, make a note out of it. Make a note. Kind of feel like what happens when you see your kid inside? Do you even see him or her? Do they want to show up? They won't come up if they need to hide underneath the table, because when they showed up, they got really hurt. So first of all, let's see if you can actually sense your kid inside, no matter what age. See if you have any picture coming to you. Any sense? Is it 5-year-old? Do you feel your infant? You just sense them. Do you see a picture of your teenager? If you see a picture, if they want to show up, see how they are as much as you can as an objective observer. What do you sense from them? Now, they might not tell you at the beginning because they might not feel safe. Or they might be safe and tell you, I'm okay, I'm not. You might sense that they're depressed or they're anxious or whatever it is. Listen to that. See, just observe. Don't do anything other than observing them. Now, they will tell you how they are if you are actually able to see them. To see them not with your eyes, with your physical eyes, with your heart eyes, with your mind eyes. See if you can have compassion to them or not. Maybe you're angry with them. Maybe you don't like them. Maybe you don't like the kid inside. There is no should or shouldn't. Then it will tell you that there are messages that do not belong to you. You internalize them by somebody that actually sent you that message. And they might have told you that they loved you, but you got a very different experience inside. And the experience is what matters. The experience of that particular thing, or generally how you felt, is the truth. Just observe and make a note out of it. What happens inside is that we have the family that we internalize. We internalize our mom, dad, all of them are part of our makeup inside that we internalized and became part of us. Now, we might be underneath all of that inside, not even showing up, because all we have is you don't see the picture, but you constantly sense that you need to be there for others, or you need to be there for yourself constantly without even seeing yourself. Many times the messages that we will turn towards ourselves are things that we already internalized by others for years, day after day. We get the same message. It became part of our well-being, our makeup, our structure inside. We internalized that. It became solid. So telling yourself to love yourself is not going to help at that point of time. You can tell yourself, oh yeah, I should love myself and all that. But what you can do is actually separate yourself. Sit with yourself. Give yourself time for yourself. Spend some time with yourself. We're constantly running and doing and all of that. Allocate time to just sit with yourself. With yourself. Not by yourself. Also by yourself, but with yourself. Put yourself next to you. And then try to see if that person of you, invite your inner kid to show up. Because you just want to listen. Not to tell him or her how to be or not to be. Not to do that because you need to do something, because they won't show up. But because you actually want to listen. Make a note and see if you actually have the capacity and wish to see yourself. So many of us can be very kind to others and see kids and love them, but we can't see our own kid because nobody did. That creates a narcissistic injury. That either you go, it's going to be all about myself and I want to have more power and more things and more clothes and whatever it is that you need to show up to be seen. Or this other side of it, you're going to completely cancel yourself from the other side and just show up for everybody else other than yourself. And it will never be enough. And actually, nobody actually see you. They just see what you do for them. They don't really actually truly see you. And you don't trust that will actually see you, because your experience were before, all your life as a kid, that if you showed up just to be seen, nobody did. But they did when you did something that got their attention or it was for them. Let's say that the parents are so stoked about how talented you are in singing. And all of a sudden when you start singing, say, oh my God, you can be a star. That's when they look at you. That's when they see you. They don't really see you. It's not a narcissistic need that you really have, you know? Now, it's okay to praise the kid for that, but as an addition, not instead. So let's say you're just being seen for all the things that you can do for others or talents that you have that helped you to get through life. But the moment you're sad, the moment you just want to talk about things, the moment just like you shed all of that, nobody was there, you won't expect anybody to be there, and you'll sell others exactly what you had, what you sold to your parents or to your environment, that you got something from that. So in a way, you're perpetuating the same thing that happened to you in the past without knowing. That requires much deeper work also. By the way, it's all of us. I had the same injury, and for years I had to treat that. I was valued for who I am, for what I did, not for who I was. I didn't trust that anybody would love me if I'm not this or this or this and that, and have all these credentials. Why would anybody love me? That's not the experience that I had. So I thought I became something. I created an identity. We do create an identity that is a false identity, a facade, a house of cards that other people would want to see, so they see something. Otherwise, they will see nothing. And nobody actually asked us or attended to us in a way that will develop a sense of self that is who we are. That requires therapy. That requires an attendant with another human being, because that's the only way you can mend narcissistic injury. You know, when we had deficiency of love in the way we need it, we cannot get it from our system by itself. It needs to be with others. Now, so many times we will choose others. If we don't love ourselves inside, we will choose others that are usually the same type. Even though they do things might be differently, but they're the same kind of people that we had in early life. In that way or another, they would need something from us. Or they would be impressed, they would look at you just because you sold them something. And then that's how you're going to attract them. If they attract you because of what you do for them, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot, because you're perpetuating the situation. They expect that. So in a way, it's the same cycle over and over again. Now, what you can do for yourself is start recognizing all of us have narcissistic injuries, by the way. Don't feel that you're alone. You know? To that degree, all of us. No parent are perfect, which they don't have to be perfect, but they got what they got from their parents, and as much as they wanted to love us, they came with their injuries. If their narcissistic injuries are not treated, we will continue generation after generation. So what you can do is recognize that and start saying, like, if you had a kid and you had like really kind of a kid that have something that they're not well, you would get them help, right? You need to get your kid help too, because you cannot do that from your own system. Most of the time, as much as you want to be there for your kids, your parents inside that you internalize on will turn to you inside. Will tell you you're not worthy, you're lazy, you're all the messages that you tell yourself are not something that you're born with. You got these messages before, that way or another. So it's important, it's not important, it's vital to get somebody that actually capable, a therapist that is capable. Capable meaning they got through the healing process themselves. No therapist actually comes healthy to that profession, usually the other way around. So you want to gradually choose people who are capable, and that's also friends or others that you start sensing, being mindful how much you can trust them or not. How much you can trust, and trust then again is not all or nothing. You know, get to know people. You might be very impressed at the beginning, and after a little bit, you see some other parts of them. Share as much as you can at that point of time without abandoning yourself. The more you find trustworthy people and not being impressed by what you do, don't fall into that. You will fall into that, but be mindful of that. Then gradually you'll start getting all the shame parts inside that were shame that you couldn't really talk about. And you shamed yourself now at that point of time. You start getting maybe different experiences that people that actually would not shame you and would say like, I don't care what you are and who you are and what you're doing for me or not, I just love you. Start looking for those people. Start looking to others, inviting others to you from a different lens. Not the lens of no, no meaning experience, but sense of what you need, and actually start to see, is it safe for my kid or not? Or to what degree can I share with that friend or not? Some friends are more capable than others. You might share some things with them and not others. That's self love when you're treating yourself that way. You are protecting yourself. This is as if you had a kid and you want to protect them from people who are not listening to them or judging them. So you will actually start treating yourself as you treat others. Your responsibility is you, unless you have literally a child. If you don't have a child, you are responsible for no one other than you. And because you might not have gotten what you needed, now you're probably doing that to yourself. You're just repeating that. Start being that for you. You are the one that you want to be there for, and get help if your child needs it. It's not going to come only because you want to, but because you need another being to regulate your system, to start the process of giving you true love. And true love has nothing to do with materialism, nothing to do with doing or not doing. It's a cosmic love. It's just there. And it's the most powerful force of any. If there's true love, nothing else matters. You won't be scared. You won't be depressed. You know that you have somebody to truly count on, that somebody is there for you. Other things that we can do, and I cannot really get into this right now, so we will talk about it then again, and we'll do much more extensive work with that when we offer the workshop later on in next year. There is a mindfulness meditation that's called metta meditation or loving kindness meditation. You can go to the internet and put their loving kindness meditation. This meditation is different than usually Vipassana meditation, or think that that you are putting your attention on the breath. It is more like sending love to others and to yourself. And you start by sending love to others that you love. While you're actually in meditation mode, you start permeating love to all others. Then you start doing that to all beings. And eventually you're doing that for yourself. So many of us, to love ourselves is not something that is natural. So in this meditation, it's called, then again, loving kindness meditation, and we will actually practice that, and I will teach that in later times. And this is very useful tool to start feeling the love that everyone deserve. Even people, especially people that you see that it's about themselves, because it was never about them. So when you start looking at things in the eyes in a much bigger picture, that all of us are hurt and protecting ourselves in different ways, then you start kind of like having more love. You are opening your quantum field to be there for others, truly be there for others, rather than judging them, and stop judging yourself. And if you stop judging yourself, you won't judge others. Remember, it all starts with you. If you really truly don't value yourself, that means that you don't love yourself. You won't be able to love others. You might depend on others for being okay, but it's not actually true love. It's a need. It's like a kid. I will do anything for my parents to be okay and for them to love me, even though they never could. So a lot of us just gave our parents what we thought they needed for us to love us, and it never ended, and we never got anything of what we actually needed. And we are going to repeat that for the rest of our life unless you have a kind beings with you, and you there for yourself, to open up yourself for love to come to you, because you never got that. And you might see somebody who's very sad inside under the smile or under the performance. You might see no one underneath all of that. It's just a shell. Don't panic. It's okay. It's a good start to start looking for you. And that point, you start loving yourself. Rob, I think I will end in this time because I want to actually give time for questions. But I think we need to take a break before, right?
Absolutely. Yes. We will take a break real quick. So we will go and take a 3 minute break and then we will be back. If you have questions for Oren, now's the time to put them into chat. And as we are answering those questions, if you have more questions, then we'll answer those as well, as much as we can up to the 10 o'clock hour, maybe a little bit past. But if you need to be on your merry way at 10 o'clock, that's okay too. So we will take a break and we will see you very soon.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
As I said, as we are answering these questions, then feel free to ask more questions down below. I know I have one for myself. We'll see if we get actual time to do that. So, all right. So from Christine Morse, Oren, how you mentioned that I should ask my inner child. How do I tap into that? That's a fantastic question.
It is a fantastic question. Thank you, Christine. So, what you want to do first of all is the first thing is to first of all clear your mind. Sit down when you are available, when your emotional system reservoir is kind of calm, not when you're angry or what you said and all of that. Just when you're clear enough and you that sit with yourself in the bed or in a large chair, whatever it is. Close your eyes and start browsing with not with your cognitive thing, not searching for that, but ask inside for your kid. Invite her. Don't ask her. Invite her to come sit next to you. Now, make sure before you do that that you are aware of you, the one that actually invite that kid, that part of you that want to invite the kid, and have intention not to judge her, any part of her. Just invite her with kind hearted. Then simply just close your eyes and just kind of like wait and see and kind of and wait. Not kind of like try hard. What we call that in psychology free association, meaning that you are kind of like let your unconscious come to you. The unconscious is your child that might show up or not. So often we want to see things. This is why therapy takes time, because it doesn't happen just like, oh, I'll just do this and I'll do that. It has to do how safe it is for your kid to come even to you, to show up to you. Or maybe there's just so much pain for this kid that she just doesn't feel like say right now ready to come up. It's like you don't ask your kids or anybody else, well, I'm here to you, so I'm listening. So just start spilling all the things that it doesn't work that way. So we want to be very mindful that we're inviting somebody that might have a lot of pain that needed to go underneath the table and not ready to come out. And that's okay. So just kind of have the intention and asking her, inviting her. And remember that we might invite somebody that got a lot of hurt that is not ready to show herself up. In that matter, just be kind to yourself with that. To say, okay, sweetie, I'm here. Whenever you're ready, I will be here. And keep doing that exercise with open heart, not to demand for her to show up, but to invite her. It might take time. Somebody that got hurt a lot about different things might take time for her to see that you are actually have enough stamina to stay with her the way she needs at that point of time. That is empathy. Otherwise, we're creating the same injury that we had. Otherwise, if we demand our kids to show up because we want to listen to them, then what we're doing is basically telling them that we want to hear them and they're not ready to be heard. So be mindful of that catch. Many times our parents wanted to give us what they thought that we needed, but didn't actually heard us of what we needed. They intended well, but they weren't really actually listening. So I invite everyone to actually listen, and good parenting to yourself would be with yourself exactly where you need. And if the kid doesn't want to show up of any age, then means it's not safe for them at that point of time. What you need to do to tap into that is not actually to then again do anything actively. The only thing actively that you're doing is stay there with open invitation. I will be there next week also in a couple of days, and just invite her again. And if she not sees, if she feels in her heart that you actually there with empathy when she doesn't show up, she'll start picking up. She'll start pick her head up, and she'll start coming for a little bit. You want to be the parent or the people that weren't that kind to you. So you want to do something very different. It's actually attending with empathy. Empathy meaning is that understanding what the person need at that point of time. All of us wants to be happy. All of us wants other people to be happy. It doesn't work and we can't fix it. They might need something very different at point of time. They might not be able to talk about something that we want to talk about right now. Maybe we can respect that it might be not safe for them. They can't. Not angry with them. The same thing you want to do for yourself.
Thank you, Oren. This actually goes right into Lexi's question of what do you do when you know a parent really loves you to the fullness of their capacity, but you still don't feel loved? Wonderful question, Lexi.
Wonderful question. So what I will start actually is, and that's actually common to many people because many of our parents. There are some parents that are actually mean, and you can see that. And whether they say they love us or not, it's just you can outwardly see that it's not they're not acting kindly. But some parents, for example, really love you and wants to attend to you, but they attend to you with the lenses of then again what they got, and they can't really hear you. So they might flood you with I'm here. They might be all the time there. They might create neediness. They might create codependency between them because it's their life depends on you to be okay, and rather than be okay by themselves and be there for you. If a child sense that their parents need them to be okay constantly for their well-being, the child will start caring for the parents. So you get the sense, that your parents love you, try to do whatever it is, but you still didn't get what you need. So you ask me what to do about that. What we can do about it, then again, is invite your kid inside and ask her, what is it that you feel? Not about you, yeah, you feel not love, and you get kind of like conflicted messages. But maybe those conflicted messages really confuse you that you're not really allowing yourself to say, this is what I need. This is what I need, not what they thought that they give me that I need. So start asking yourself, what inside feels that your parents for a second inside. We're not gonna hurt them, we're not gonna blame them. They did the best they could to their capability, as you said correctly. And at the same time, focus on yourself right now and say, sweetie, you don't feel loved. Tell me about that. Open the question. Let her talk. She might not know at the beginning, by the way. And she might even feel ungrateful that she was loved and she still doesn't feel loved. I don't know. There's different scenarios of that. Many of us blame ourselves for something that we got so much, and why are we like that? Well, you were missed something inside. It's not because you're bad or a failure. So actually take all this window and put it on the right side so you can't see it right now. We'll go back to that. It will be there. Don't worry. And just go to yourself and ask your kiddo, you're not feeling loved. Can you tell me about that? You don't have now to protect your parents at this point of time or bash yourself. Just really ask objectively. And that kid, if they feel safe, they'll start telling you. Now, they might feel trapped because they feel ungrateful. They might feel that they're not good enough. They might feel not trusting even to say that. Gradually inviting that part of you that feel unloved. And what does that mean? Open that question to your kid. They might then again at the beginning won't be able to answer it, but you want to give them a platform to start figuring it out. Little by little. Little by little. Remember, if there's so much hurt that we got from over so many years, day by day, that is what's dominant inside, nothing of what you want to hear or whatever it is. So be patient with yourself. That's the first thing that you want to do. If you are with the unknown, even try to figure it out what your kid needs and they don't, then exercise the parenting that you want to be to yourself, is be patient with your kid rather than that she will start telling you, why. She has the answer. The answer is inside. Promise you, it's not outside.
Thanks, Oren. So the next one, King asks, can you explain why some people respond to conditioning by putting others first while others put themselves first?
Very good question. So this is the two types of the narcissistic injury. Just two sides of the same coin. We have different protections. So when we didn't get what we needed, right? Think about that. You can either try to, if you learn that the only way that you can be important is to be there for other people's, that's how you're going to try to get that. If you have a different, a 180-degree protection inside that says like, I'm done with all. It's kind of it's an unconscious protection. It's like I don't go to get anything from others. I have only myself for myself. You can it's now none of you have the other side of them. One is doing for others just because they need to survive, not because there's kindness obviously, but you do that because it's the only way to feel that you exist. The other way to do that is that I have nobody. If I am not doing that for myself, nobody will do it for others. And not only that, what the message that I got from the others is that if I am so amazing, then I need to do, if I perform well, if I dress well, if I have degrees, or if I'm excellent in sport, whatever, a rock star, then when you think about it, it's another narcissistic fuel that you get just from the other side of it. So it's just different protections from the same injury. It depends how we learn to protect ourselves. One is judged to be bad, the narcissistic that it's all about them and cannot listen, which I highly encourage you to start having empathy to people that are like that, because it's really not. It was never about them. It was really never about them. So they try to fill in all this gap inside with fuel, with things that will never fit them, because it's not what they needed. So they might die billionaires as alone as injured as they were before, with the illusion that they are worth something. Somebody that feels worth enough, by the way, doesn't need that much. It will change. So it's just 180 degrees of protection of the same injury. And I really, hopefully, as you guys hear me today, develop empathy to all people with narcissistic injury, rather than see them like, oh, it's all about themselves. They're not. Yes, you might not be able to share with them things because they're not going to hear you, but maybe you can be empathic to their injury so they can heal, and now you can get yourself, not try to get something from them that they cannot provide you. It doesn't mean that they're bad, but it means that they might not be capable to give you what you need. You don't have to stay with them. If you do that, you're abandoning yourself again. So again, empathy is not abandoning yourself. It's not that means you need to sacrifice yourself. Empathy means that you have an empathic thoughts, an empathic and resonating feeling, which is amazing because by you having empathy, you permeates all the love and kindness that there is through the quantum field to the people, to the world. You don't have to actually abandon yourself, because when you do that, you're canceling what you did for others.
That makes perfect sense, Warren. That actually, that's quite profound. That was amazing. Thank you. We have another question, Maria. I feel guilty when I don't save someone, even though I understand it's important to put me first. And that's kind of along the lines of what you were just talking about. How do I manage that?
Thank you, Maria. It's such an important question. The thing is that so many of us, when we're younger, if we didn't do or perform or saved others when we felt that we needed to, we got judged and guilt, and sometimes feel that, like, I don't know, let's say your mom or your dad were sick or they're depressed and all that, and you all of a sudden go party because you just had enough and you wanted that, and you start feeling guilty that you weren't there for your mom or your dad. Kids will do anything, and you feel obligated to save their parents. What's underneath that is that actually, if their parents are our all world, our God. When we're young, we don't have anybody else. We depend on them. So if they're not okay, we need to be there for them. And if we're not doing that because we're exhausted or something like that, we want to take care of ourselves, we start feeling guilty. That we abandoned them. If that comes from that place, go there to your kiddo and say, sweetie, that was not your responsibility to save your parents or anybody else. You can't, and it's not your responsibility. You didn't create that injury. You can be empathic for them as in helping them, but always keep yourself intact. Now, so many times we actively were guilt. We had a guilt trip by our parents or in the environment that if you don't do this or if you don't do that, you're bad. You know, and then we start feeling guilty that we're not there for others. You know, because we're bad if we do that. We're selfish. We're not allowed to be selfish actually when we need it. So that guilt start coming later on as adults. That whatever we were guilty of, is coming back. I'm supposed right now the whole world is collapsing, and I'm right now sitting in a hotel, in this, a resort. I can. Do I feel happy about that? No, I don't feel happy that there's a lot of people that cannot eat, and right now I sit in a beautiful resort. I do my best to help, but I cannot save the whole world. I can do these talks for free, and that's my pleasure to give to the world. But if I start doing therapy to everyone in right now in this hotel, even in this only right now this row, I won't be able to survive a second. And it's not my role. At the same time, I want to give you a message. It is okay to take care of you, to be a bit selfish. You're not selfish because you never get what you needed. And there is time to give in a way that it doesn't really scratch into your well-being. Because at this point, you are responsible for yourself. If you're not there for yourself, you're abandoning yourself just like others did to you. So I want to give you a permission to be there for you, for yourself, rather than feel guilty. Every time you feel guilty, see or and say, you're not less important. That's okay. And they might need the help that they need to reach out for getting help themselves. It is not your responsibility to do that. Just right now, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to helping you to get the right tools and the right help, because I cannot be there, a parent to everyone.
So I'm going to pull host privilege here. I have a question for you, Oren. So
Yes.
you mentioned that narcissism in the beginning has a negative connotation to it. And I feel like after this talk, it's more like we are encountering people that have that narcissistic wound inside of them. And it's almost become so large or encompassing of their surrounding that we're getting pulled into that black hole, that narcissistic wound. That's what we would label a narcissistic person. Now, you've redefined that. When we encounter those kind of people, it could be our parents, but it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be
Anyone.
anyone, right?
Absolutely.
How do we have empathy for them, but still have those boundaries for ourselves? How do we do that?
Thank you, Rob. What a beautiful question. So when you see yourself getting into that black hole of there, you know, you're not gonna be able to have empathy. Meaning you're gonna be sacrificing yourself, and eventually you're gonna feel resentful. And there is a difference between, then again, you can be empathic to them if you are not getting hurt yourself. If you are involved in that and you're getting hurt, if somebody, I have empathy to generally anyone. But if somebody comes to right now and attack me at that point of time, I won't have empathy to them. Not at that point of time. When somebody's hurting you, you first of all say, Now, what's being hurt is something that you so many times not recognize. You might be swallowed into a relationship that you constantly give, and you have so much empathy. You know how many times it happens to us that we're having a friend or somebody like that, and they suck life out of you in a way. It's constantly about them. You feel bad for them. You stay them automatically because they don't have anybody else, so to speak. And how can you abandon them at that point of time? That's kind of type of what you're asking in a way, right? So you want to actually recognize inside your own well-being and say, how much when you listen, do you actually can breathe with that, and you can have empathy while giving them what they need, and at what point you start kind of dreading this conversation, or it's all about them. Or at the same time, when you start to recognize it, so it's really important that you recognize what happened to you and be mindful not only of them, but what's happening with me. Do I want right now to listen? Is it always about them? Is it like I feel like I cannot squeeze a word? And if I do they ever listen? Do they have a capacity? And I'm getting caught in relationship that it's like they have so much to that I'm just kind of like constantly like finding myself it's another task to do, and I actually start resenting them. What kind of friendship that is becoming? Then you sacrifice yourself. At that point, when you recognize that, you need to say, stop. I have to stop it. I have to be there for myself as much as I am to them. And so your obligation at that point, as hard as it is, because it might be not something that you were brought up in, then again, it's hard. You might feel you're abandoning them, that you're disappointing them, that you're hurting them, that you might lose them. And that might be your narcissistic needs that come into the picture that scares you. So I can tell you all these right things right now. And in true life, it will be very difficult. That's why the internal world needs to be attended to you, because you never might learn that you are more important than anybody else. It might be that you have to listen to your parents all day and be attending to their needs, whether you listened or not. And that's what you do right now. It's natural. And if you go take care of yourself, then you feel that you're abandoning them. And you're perpetuating that with others. So this is why it's important to start being there for yourself and getting help, so it will be about you, where you'll be capable of putting those boundaries without the fear of losing them or disappointing them. And that takes time, by the way, from my own experience, trust me. It takes time to all of a sudden kind of feel I'm okay to say no, to say enough, or to talk about that. It's not either that or that. You can talk about it and see if there is somebody there, the people that you actually are talking about, that to have an honest conversation with them and see how they respond to that. It might be that it will get to a different level of friendship that you never had before. There might be that they were never actually mindful because of their own injury, that you were never in the picture. That might be a start to have some kind of maybe different relationship. Now, they might be capable of understanding that and say, yes, yes, I understand, let's do it all over again. But because of their injuries, they won't be able to do that. And your injuries, you might not be able to say enough. So you see how both sides, our narcissistic injuries, are coming to the picture. The one that needs a lot, the one that actually stays all the way in and never can pull back. There are two sides of the same coin. Then you want to be mindful of that you actually can't. It's just so hard for you to do that. Be little by little with your kid and try to be there as much as you put your adult part. As if you were there for your daughter to protect her from somebody that sucks life out of her. And gradually, little by little, your kid inside will get the message. Wait a minute, this is not. Now, at that point, when you start having empathy to yourself and you have more boundaries, you will have more empathy to them. It might be that you don't have relationship with them the way you did, but you'll actually have more empathic relationship with them, because first of all, you're okay. So we can't really have empathy, true empathy, when we are getting, bruised, hurt by people that we're actually in connection with.
That makes so much sense. You have time to breathe. You're actually okay yourself, and then you have time to have the empathy. Yep.
There's no way that anybody can be empathic when they get to a human.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And if you're taking care of others in a way when you're abandoning yourself, this is not loving. This is not love and kindness, not to them and not to you, because it's not what they need. They need somebody that actually can listen to them without needing something from them. So that's why a therapist is coming to the picture. Because a therapist, it will be about you. They get paid not because to care, but because their needs not going to come to the picture. And it's almost like being a parent that should be there for their kids, not the kids be there for their parents.
Makes so much sense. Oren, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insights today. Is there anything last wrap up that you wanted to say to anybody?
I want guys to stay with one thing. We're all wounded. We are all shamed to that degree or another. We're human. So give yourself a break. Try to be kind to yourself, really. Just kind of like It's not easy so many times. We were shamed. We did a lot of things that we're ashamed of because we never got, it's a shame on a shame on shame and guilt. And we just try to survive. We just try to survive. We're not bad people, you know? So, first and foremost, just kind of like be there for you. It's hard anyway to live, and give yourself a break. Give yourself a break from the race, from trying to prove something to anyone, to constantly run. Give yourself a break. Just sit with yourself, play with things that you like, listen to the music that you like, do things that internally makes you feel happy. You know, listen to yourself. If you really listen, the kid inside will tell you. Any part of you will tell you, and just be there. It's not that hard if you're listening to yourself. And I also want to send everyone love from here, from Bangkok, to wherever you are. It will reach you with a lot of love and kindness that will always be with you. I want also to mention, Rob, one thing for the readers. It just came to my mind. Some of you know, some of them don't know that I wrote actually a book that just came out lately. I think on Substack, Rob. Right? We start releasing the chapters. The reason that I wrote the book is about that because I couldn't really love myself. I was a performance machine because inside I felt like nothing. So I wanted to tell people what was the process of healing that wound, that narcissistic wound, and mine was deep. What needs to happen, the relationship that I had with my own therapist who co-wrote this book with me. What does it mean to heal? What does it really takes to heal those wounds? It's not that one-time talk. It's a relationship with somebody that capable more than what we had. Then you'll see a lot of things that you try so hard to fall in place will just fall in place just so easily. So I think if people want, Rob, they can go to our website, Well Done Wellness, and just get the information about the chapters that we released already. And we also will provide more content and more actually experiential workshops so we can actually start being there for you, not only hear about that.
Absolutely. Yes. And the link is now in the chat there for everyone. Do you have time for one more question?
I do.
Okay. All right. Hasina says, why I don't love myself enough, but I have so much love, mercy, kindness, and compassion for everyone, but myself, right? Except myself. Why
Well,
is that?
Hasina,
Why is
yeah, well,
that?
Hasina, this has to do then again with early childhood. If we didn't feel loved, it doesn't matter what our parents did or not. So many times our parents survived themselves. It was hard for them. It's not easy to be a parent. And remember that our parents carry wounds from their parents. They tried to be there the best they could for us, but they might have survived themselves inside and out. When that happens, we don't get the ingredients of the love that we really needed it. And if we got the message that we needed to be there for others from very young age, that's what we're going to continue doing when we grow up, because we never got what it actually not to do anything and we to feel safe just because. So these early wounds, the way we were shaped in early times, and that's where the brain shapes, the brain shapes mainly in the first couple of years, really kind of mold and become solidifies. Today we know until 26, 28 that the brain actually is developing. The brain also can redevelop itself. We can really actually change it with what I said, with healthy relationships. And healthy relationships are through the process of neuroplasticity are going to send fuel, loving fuel to our emptiness, to the place where we didn't get the love that we needed and we had to constantly give in order to feel okay. We won't love ourselves. We would love everybody else because that's how we survived. It will continue until the day you die, if you ever experience actually true love, just because. And so, in order to repair those wounds, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll always do something that was familiar for you from very early age to be loved. And kids do whatever necessary if the family struggles, if there's mom is depressed, if dad is working all the time and the dad start feeling up, there was and there is just not enough in the family resources outside and inside, the kid would try to step in and somehow be there for others in their mind. What can do, or sometimes they can actually do. They start working in young age and never able to go to school and never able to be kids or play. When you have that experience, you never got the ingredients to grow emotionally in a way that you can sustain yourself and love yourself. So that's something that happened a long time ago. Then again, the then and there coming to the here and now. The past is not in the past, it comes to the present. And in order to heal that, we need to talk to somebody who can help us to process that, be there for their inner kid, and different parents from the outside, to be there for that kid right now, to start growing her in a way that she never did, to start hearing her, to raise her in a different way inside. That what will gradually change the way you are actually able to be there for yourself, not only to others. Otherwise, it will repeat because that program is already embedded in you.
Thanks for that, Oren. I think we'll have to call it a night tonight. There's a
Well,
couple of announcements that I'll have to make, and then we'll be on our way. But thank you so much for being here
and
today.
thank you for everyone coming. Thank you, Rob, and I will see you in the next event.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, we're going to go to our little, let's see here. We're going to just say that we have another event, Fear versus Anxiety. Don't let the worry dictate your life. December 16th at 6 p.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is a QR code. You can also look on eventbrite.com and search out Oren Raz. That will be there as well. We also, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, we will send it to your inbox that way. And we also have, let me see if I can just move this up a bit. There we are. Okay. We also have New Dawn Wellness with Oren.com and info at New Dawn Wellness with Oren.com. So if you want to get in touch with Oren, you can go to either one of those, and there is a contact us, or that is his direct email. We also have different links to all of his different social media here. And if you want to reach out that way, that's fantastic. And just follow him that way. He's always has several different updates to actually reach out to all of his followers. So there we go. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We are again New Dawn Wellness with Oren, and we will be back here December 16th. Take care and have a great night.